The spotlight of accountability continues to shine on this board and your actions, and it will continue to intensify as you realize that we are not a vocal minority, but a growing force that will continue to seek the truth, holding each of you accountable for your failure of leadership all day, every day, until we are no longer forced to pay you for FOIA documents in order to find the truth. After monthly requests for a town hall meeting to an open, honest, and meaningful dialogue between this board and your constituents, this board continues to manage a misinformation campaign via social media. Tonight, we will be highlighting the statements issued by board members and administrative officials, contrasting your words and actions with the truth in FOIA instruction, Schoology assignments, and policy changes. Enjoy tonight's forum.
In 2019, you approved the Equity Library. You said they'd only be available in the classroom and not part of assignments. Well, both Freedom and Independence High School assigned the pornographic, murder trending, and Stonebridge High School, kids chose Monday's Not Coming. Kids listen to rap music and they're used to dirty language, one of you said. We are here tonight to say that Little Nas X should not be the low bar set for honors English. This week you announced the books were under review. So please help us understand if you were lying at the 2019 school board meeting. And just after the last board meeting, when we showed you the excerpts of pornographic material and violence, you laughed at our faces when you voted to put the overspending into more of these kind of books for middle school and elementary school. Come on, y'all. Enough is enough. Give it.
You announced that these books were not assigned curriculum. However, this letter shows a principal removing the book from the freshman English class, and these pictures show the Schoology assignment, where if students were uncomfortable sharing their thoughts, the instructor made it very clear that they would have an anonymous reporting form to report said student. They also gather in groups to present each book, so at some time each student would be exposed to these books, making none of this optional. As a parent, it is important to say that you failed to take into consideration that students participating in distance learning have tender-aged siblings in a household, and that these books needed to be discussed in the home where young children were exposed to the content should they be in close proximity to the computer.
Social media, print reports, emails, and your own website that LCPS does not teach critical race theory. You continue to promote equity versus equality for all students, creating a nurturing environment of inclusivity while creating online anonymous reporting tools for microaggressions and other offenses to be used as examples of racist behaviors inside LCPS. What could go wrong? You have created $6 million in new jobs centered around social justice, equity, and the programs needed to implement critically responsive training. If these resources have been committed and the program so valuable, why then are you working so hard to hide it?
We have the documents that prove that you contracted with the Equity Collaborative, a company created to utilize the adoption of new mindsets, beliefs, values that facilitate shifts in behavior and practice. You initially hired them via a no-bid contract in 2018 to find, report, and create a program to address equity in LCPS. Few, if any, contracts in the government procurement actually have the same company go looking for a problem that they already will be paid to fix. You continue to pay them $625 per hour for critical race theory development and culturally responsible teaching development, but you say you don't teach critical race theory.
Since the previous chart showed two different charges, we really wanted to understand the difference between CRT and culturally responsive training. So we went to NYU and to the University of Illinois, where PhD Judith Briggs explained CRT and it is in regards to race as a social construction and analyzes the connections between race, racism, privilege, power, while culturally responsive training uses the framework of CRT as the program to teach in schools. Thus, they appear to be one and the same. One is a framework, the other is the instruction. If this is such a wonderful program, why in heaven's name would you create word salad to obfuscate its implementation within LCPS? Tell us the truth.
During the review of changes to LCPS's policy 7560, Scott Ziegler specifically stated that the LEA, Loudoun Education Association, had the opportunity to review proposed changes prior to the board meeting and that they gave favorable feedback to the changes. You can see our FOIA work here. As you can see here from these FOIA documents, they did not receive the proposed changes ahead of time, and at no time did the LEA provide feedback nor state that this policy was fine. I ask you as a board, how can we continue to put our faith in government officials, you, our elected officials, that cannot be honest with their constituents, their union leaders, nor their employees? By the way, Scott Ziegler, I'm still waiting for you to reach out to me to answer my questions about equitable outcomes with regards to grades.
Here are some pretty strong examples of where CRT and culturally responsive training collide in LCPS classrooms. Second grade students are told to be the change by becoming an anti-racist leader. Second graders. Children are taught the meaning of white fragility, white supremacy, white privilege, colorism, institutional racism, and told that because they were born white, they are inherently racist. What do you consider racism if not teaching children that they are good or bad based on the color of their skin? We talk about diversity, inclusion, and equity while denouncing guaranteed opportunities in favor of guaranteed outcomes. How do you guarantee the same outcome for every student within LCPS? Thank you.
The question remains, how can we trust the school board, your acting superintendent, or any of your administration when taxpayers have to submit FOIA requests, paying thousands of dollars just to find out the truth? We found the truth, and apparently the school board feels they are at war with the parents, and that is and by releasing truth, we are trying to intimidate you. We're just telling the truth. That should be something you should be proud of, not intimidated by. As you can see here, the members of the Equity Committee are trying to remove other members because they disagree with school policy. If the purpose of a committee isn't to hear divergent opinions, it should be called an echo chamber. Honor your code of conduct and stop charging taxpayers for the truth.
It looks like that small minority movement that you guys keep talking about is getting a little bigger, right? Look, you all can end this divisiveness. You say you don't teach critical race theory or implement critical race theory. Well, we call on you to pass a resolution banning it. Shouldn't have a problem if you're not using it, right? But you can do less than that. You can simply pass a resolution to make sure that all materials for teacher training and student teaching are online before the school year. Transparency. What's so problematic about that? Why can't you do that even? We'll submit it tomorrow. We'll make sure you get the emails on our proposed legislation. One more thing. You're probably going to see some of the coverage out there. You all in LCPS owe the gym teachers at Madison's Trust Elementary a major apology, and you owe it to the community as well. Thank you.